Hi, Kevin Coupe here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. So, as you can see, I'm still on the road. And one of the things I've been doing as I've been traveling is I've been reading a book that I actually referred to some weeks ago when I got back from vacation. It's the new book by Tom Friedman and Michael Mandelbaum that's called That Used to Be Us, How America Fell Behind in the World It Invented and How It Can Come Back. And it's really an interesting book in lots of ways, and it's provoked some thinking that I'd sort of like to share with you. There's one story that Tom Friedman tells in the book in which he talks about going to China, and he was going to the Tianjin Meijiang Convention and Exhibition Center, which used to be like a 3.5-hour awful car ride from Beijing, but now there's a bullet train, beautiful, fast, boom, gets them there right away, right? And it's interesting because he gets to this convention center, and he gets there in and the conference is taking place in September of 2009, right? And when he gets there, he discovers that it took them exactly 8 months to build this convention center. And this is not just a world-class convention center. This is like a universe-class convention center. It's extraordinary. And it took them 8 months to build it. Now, I have to say, this didn't surprise me. I can remember when I went to Shanghai a few years ago. One of the things I noticed is when they were building everywhere, right? And they were building 24 hours a day. I think they had like 3 shifts, 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, right? That because they're going to build that city as fast as they possibly can. One of the things that Friedman says in his book is that when he made him think about the fact that at the Bethesda metro station, when going into Washington D.C., when he's back home, he's noticed that there's an escalator there that has been in disrepair and has not worked for 6 months. And he said that seems to be the difference right now between the United States and China. They build world universe-class convention centers in 8 months. We can't fix escalators in 6 months. You know, and I've been traveling a lot lately, and I see construction projects everywhere. And I'm in airports and I'm in train stations, and I see escalators that don't work. And it's funny, I can't get this story out of my mind. And I just wonder about our ability to be competitive. And I mean, this strikes me as being it's a big picture kind of story, but it also strikes me as having some application for retailers and manufacturers who have to compete. The old paradigm, the old way of doing things, where things took a certain amount of time. Okay, some of that has been sped up by the internet and the way young people kind of react to things. But in a lot of ways, we're all too willing to accept the old methods of doing things. Things took a certain amount of time. That's just not the way we're going to do things anymore. We can't afford to do things if we're going to be competitive. While we think our way through processes, trying to figure out what we're going to do, the competition, if it's smart, it's going to lap us. It's going to take off, and all of a sudden we're going to wonder what happened to whatever competitive advantage we had. It's a big picture story here in the Friedman book, but it has a lot of applications to the way we ought to be thinking about how we're going to compete in our businesses. I can't stop thinking about this, and I think about it every time I see a construction site anywhere. Hopefully you will too. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. As always, I want to hear what's on your mind.